Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? Where we'll be talking about, well, what we'll be talking about? I don't really know. Should we go back to a holiday well? Holiday well is such a weird way to describe it. I don't know. I need to sneeze. Like I can feel the creep of a sneeze on the tip of my nose, which is not normally I think how you describe that, but still, I can feel it. I can feel it creeping. Yeah, what did I talk about last time on the holiday talk? Let's see. Let's have a little bit of a scroll. Boat rental. Oh, that was a good one. We're actually coming to near the end of a holiday, probably because this time I'm not spending like a million years talking about every tiny detail like I was doing with the Spain holiday. But anyway, good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 9:16 p.m. on Tuesday, October 17, 2023. Oh, just hit my microphone. I'm pretty sure I never even finished talking about the holiday. So what was I saying? And I never even finished talking about the Spain holiday. I'm like 90% sure. I think I just like stopped at some point and then I just never went back to it. I don't remember why necessarily, but yeah, I guess it's better because I'm talking about these sort of broad strokes things. So what did we do? We had a barbecue. Was this the first barbecue or second barbecue? I don't remember. Second barbecue it must have been, because the first barbecue was much earlier on. I think in the D. Did some drawing with friends. We played some games. Oh yeah, what a nice drawing it was. Saw some geckos. I don't even know what this is. These are just random miscellaneous photos of everyone being really tired, everyone sleeping the next day. Then the next thing we did was scuba diving. That was an interesting one. I don't really have many photos from the scuba diving. The only photos were like some, like took some before, took like a couple afterwards, and then some were taken via the actual instructors themselves on. Wait, I don't know. Am I in this photo? I'm in this photo. That's a nice photo. So I was just looking at another photo entirely. We're taken by the instructor. What instructor? Instructor while we were under the water. I'm going to try and find the scuba photos because those are like the only. Was only 3? That's not right. We're more than 3. There we go. Uploaded by someone else entirely. I don't know what's going on with the album, but yeah, I mean some of the photos at the back because some people like uploaded stuff later and that sort of thing, so because of the metadata on the photos now completely out of whack. But yeah, went scuba diving. I've never been scuba diving before. In fact, I haven't even done like any sort of normal diving. I haven't even been snorkeling, which is weird because quite a few of my friends did snorkeling early in the trip, but I didn't, mainly because I wasn't all that enthused about it. And also, I wasn't really wearing the right swimsuit, I'm going to be honest. I bought 2 swimsuits. One of them was an actual, like, proper swimming suit, which I wore to, like, the swimming pool. And one of them is more like a bathing suit, which can go underwater for a bit, but it's not something I would want to keep in water because it doesn't, like, it's not as waterproof. It doesn't dry off that quickly. So very much more of a bathing suit. And I remember on my boat rental, I wore the bathing suit. I didn't wear the swimsuit because I was like, I wore a swimsuit earlier in the holiday to go, did I wear it while scuba diving? I don't even remember what I wore while scuba diving. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, did I just wear normal clothes? Or did I wear a swimsuit? I might have worn a swimsuit. I might have worn the swimsuit for that. I don't remember. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. Is it something I would do all the time? Maybe? Not really. I don't know. Like, it's a thing where at the time when I was doing it, I was like, this is amazing. But in retrospect, I'm like, it's pretty cool. But it's not something I would think I would do it every holiday. I think certainly I would do it at specific locations. If I went to like Australia's Great Barrier Reef before it I suppose disappears entirely, then yeah, I would do it there. If I went to like I heard from a friend that Thailand was a very good place to go scuba diving, which seems Southeast Asia in general, somewhere where the ocean is very known for scuba diving. But yeah, maybe I would give it a shot. Would I get like officially licensed? I don't think, in retrospect, like thinking about it, I don't think I would go scuba diving nearly enough to even remotely justify it, but I think it's a fun sort of activity, like maybe enough to get like licensed enough that you can do like these okay-ish dives, but it's not something I was like, this is going to become a hobby of mine or anything. It's an expensive hobby for one. So yeah, we went scuba diving and there was a small group of us to his place. It was like a super basic instructor scuba diving course because like out of a group of us, only one of us had ever gone scuba diving before, and she's the person who has gone scuba diving. She was like she's done like a lot of scuba diving. She didn't even realize that this was like a beginner course thing, I think. But you know, she managed to have fun. You know, doing it with friends is always certainly a lot more fun, I think. But yeah, there was a small group of us who went scuba diving, and I mean, I'll try and regale to you scuba diving if you've not done it yourself, just so you sort of know like what it's like. We didn't go scuba diving super far. We went like, I think at max we went like 8 meters under the water or something. We actually did scuba dive in the ocean, which I've heard is not super common for like an instructor thing, like a basic introductory sort of scuba experience is often in a pool, from what I hear. But we did it in the ocean because, I don't know, that's what we offered. I don't even know how we found it. It was just like this is a random thing, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Why not? A classic me fashion, just sort of signing up for everything. Yeah. I don't really know what I was going to say about this scuba diving. Yeah, so we got there. We had an instructor. It wasn't like particularly busy or anything. I guess it's probably was not peak like scuba diving season. It's like kind of like late autumn, is it? Like, because where we went, it was very much sort of a tail end of a holiday season. So perhaps things are sort of winding down. There's a reasonable amount of people at the beach, but it was just like us. There was only like a group before and a group after us, I think, scuba diving, but not really a huge amount. But I remember going through like these big sort of like safety procedures. Obviously, scuba diving, you know, you're playing around with water is not always the safest thing to be doing, and they kind of don't want you to drown. There's a lot of equipment for you to know and like learn about. It was quite a learning experience because obviously I'd never been scuba diving. I didn't really know much about scuba diving except for breathe like oxygen, hopefully through whatever mechanism you use. But the thing is, you put like the wetsuit on, and then the amount of equipment you had to carry while scuba diving, it's so much, it's so heavy. Like, I'm not a particularly strong person, I would say. I'm probably like below average, but not like incredibly weak or anything. Like, I can still hold my body weight probably, but you had to carry like a certain percentage of your body weight. I can't remember exactly what it was. But you put the wetsuit on. The wetsuit is a wetsuit. If you've ever put, it's just like a normal wetsuit. It's like reasonably tight or whatever, as it should be, because you don't want like all your clothes to get wet. I suppose that would be super suboptimal. You get a mask ring as well. And it's actually super helpful. I forgot, but super helpful to have a friend who actually knew how to scuba dive, like all these stuff like there as well. It is very reassuring, you know, just, you know, being able to ask more casually a friend rather than the instructor being like XYZ. And plus, of course, she was necessarily taught a different way, so, you know, you get two sort of like ideas of how to do things, which is good for me, like a very sort of over-prepare type, you know, tell me rules, okay, I'll memorize them rotely to heart and that sort of thing, and then like with that I will, I don't know, execute upon it. But you had to wear a lot like of equipment. So you got your super scoot on, and then you've got like, you had to hold the tank. Obviously the tank they all set it up for you, but you had to hold it in like a vest, and this vest thing is like an inflatable thing, which I didn't realize. But you have like this one air canister in the back, and most of it is just for like you breathing. Like, you get a mouthpiece. You also have a backup mouthpiece, which I didn't really think about, but yeah, that makes sense in case like your mouthpiece fails. Like, wait, I already came here. Like, why am I here again? I'm very much not paying attention. I was meant to go to Capin, but I just went completely wrong way because of that detour I took to visit Audie. So you had to put on the vest, and then like you have a tank, and the tank has like 4 cables coming from it. One of them is like the barometer, like that sees the pressure, so you can see how much air you got left. One of them is your main mouthpiece, and one of them is like a reserve mouthpiece, and then the other one is like the inflation device for your like vest thing you're wearing, because it's a thing which is apparently one of the hardest things to probably, like, for beginners especially, to do for scuba diving, is being able to be buoyant in the sense that, you know, obviously if you like lay it in your back on the ocean, you'd probably float. I guess it kind of depends on factors and that sort of thing, but most people probably know how to like float in a pool or something like that. But then you're carrying like, I don't know, 50% of your body weight or something. I don't know if that's even right. You're carrying a lot. And then, you know, you're going to start sinking like a stone, you know, as you want to kind of do it when you're scuba diving. You want to kind of go downwards, but you also want to kind of float a little bit. You want to be suspended, I suppose, in midair, and that's where the buoyancy comes in. You need to like inflate your vest thing, I suppose, just the right amount, just to make sure that you're sort of floating. You've completely offset the weight of, you know, the equipment you're carrying and yourself. Very hard things to get right. I absolutely did not get it right most of the time. But they gave you tips being like, if you feel like you're, you know, sinking down, like what will give you like these indicated like hand gestures above and underwater to be like, you know, go up, go down. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. To be perfectly honest, but I am a beginner, so you know that's kind of to be expected. They also, you had to practice like breathing with the breathing apparatus. So there's like a button on it which like shoots out like air and that sort of thing, so you can test it. And then they got you to test it, I suppose, above ground, and I was like, this is really weird because I've not been snorkeling before, so I didn't know what to expect either. You have a mask which like goes over your nose and that sort of thing, and they tell you to like how to get rid of like the bubbles or water that can sometimes go in your mask. I can't even remember how you do it properly now. It's like you push it up against your forehead, look upwards, and then breathe out through your nose, I suppose, as you lift the bottom part of the mask off or something like that, and it like cleans out, it like flushes out your mask. Which, yeah, is that all the safety things you had to do? It was like hand gestures, like you do, I can't remember. It's like the OK symbol for if you're good, right? I kept doing thumbs up, but thumbs up means go up. So I kept like having to track myself. I can't remember like the things that anymore, like the hand gestures, but there weren't all that many. So, but yeah, apart from that, like you get that on, you get your flippers on, and you like wade out to the beach. It was quite a nightmare, I suppose, even getting out there, because like when you have that much equipment on you, it's so difficult just to even walk. I mean, you had to wade through the water because you can't like you can't obviously dive and like 1 meter of water or something. You have to like wade out until you're like floating out on the land. You start fully inflated, and by the way, when you inflate the things, it like crushes your chest cavity. It's like quite tight, certainly. So it's not exactly the most comfortable experience in the world. I mean, you just like had to get on the water and you just like start floating, and then you go on your back, you kick yourself out, and then you know they're just like, okay, we're gonna bring you one by one. You got to go, you know, down to the seafloor. And I was like, all right. And it was like, who wants to go first? And I was like, I'll go first because I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so that's basically what happens. They were just like, all right, just like dump all the air, I suppose, out of like your vest thing. That's what I did. And you dump all your air and you just like start sinking, and then you just like had to sort of like kneel on the ground while you sort of wait for everyone else to get sort of like situated, to get acquainted, to become part of it and get ready. And then once you're there, you can like start doing your little swimming. Yeah, like I remember I did wait for a little bit, you know, certainly. But I remember just like it was good actually that I had to wait for like a little bit, you know, because obviously we're trying to get adjusted, and I'm the first one down, so obviously I'm going to wait the longest. But it was good because I actually got to adjust, because I will tell you that like as soon as I went down, I was like, I'm screwed. I can't do this, but this is like highly uncomfortable. This is incredibly weird. Probably because it was like my first experience. Like, I guess it's like I've never like breathed underwater before, you know, like without doing any sort of like snorkeling and scuba diving. Like I don't even know how snorkeling particularly works, like, because I've never done it before. But like I remember just being like, right, let's just end it, and I started like sinking down to the bottom, and then I just like sat there kneeling on like quite a like, sharp rock, I'm gonna be honest. And it was just like, all right, stay put, basically, while, like, you know, everyone else takes their turn going down. And I remember just, like, sitting there, and it was really great. I had that, like, moment to sort of, like, compose myself, because I remember just sitting there breathing, just being like, okay, just focus on breathing. And I kept going in my mind, being like, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird, I'm not sure about this. But eventually I started to, like, mellowed out. I mean, I was like, pretty chill, you know. Had my friend there, you know, very experienced friend. She was just sort of, like, swimming around. I was sort of just watching, and she was like, yeah, come on over here, you know, let's go do stuff. And I was like, no, I gotta wait for my instructor, because I don't think they'll be pretty happy if I just like swim off randomly. But I did sort of like shuffle around on my knees, you know, a little bit, just sort of like looking around like the nooks and crannies and that sort of thing. Eventually some friends joined me, and we went on like this small swimming expedition. And I do remember the things you had to do is like you had to equalize your ears by I can't remember what it's called. It's like called it starts with E, but like there's a thing where you like pinch your nose and you try and blow, and it like blows out through like the ear ducts, because it doesn't have like anywhere else to go. Or there's another way where you can just like pretend to bite. It's basically like popping your ears, that sort of thing. You had to do that as you like go down to like equalize the air pressure or something in your ears. And I remember like when I first had to do it, because you start feeling like the pressure building up in your ears, and it's like gets quite painful if you know don't like do that flush thing. What's it called? Ear pressure flush. There's a name for it. It's not called ear irrigation. Blow, pinch, nose. Valsalva maneuver. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. I think I'm thinking of the tube is called something beginning with E, right? Valsalva maneuver. Against a closed glottis. Hello. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, that's not really the important thing. But the important thing is you have to like equalize the pressure, I suppose, in your ears by doing that. So I remember doing that a few times. I remember the first time I did it, it didn't work, and I was like, and did it again, it did work, so it was all good. And I remember at one point, actually, I somehow got water in my mask. I don't know. I think I was trying to like adjust my mask. I kept like pushing it back on me because I was just like, I'm not sure if it's tight enough, or maybe I was just being a bit paranoid about it. And like water, but they say that like if water gets into your nose thing, like because if you breathe through your nose, you're immediately going to inhale it, and you're going to panic, and you're going to start like choking. And I'm not joking, I did that. I let water into my mask by accident, and I inhaled through my nose, and I went, and I was like, okay. But luckily, it was like halfway through the dive, so I felt like at that point I was like pretty serene about it. So I was like, okay, stay calm. How do you get water out of a mask? And when I remembered, push against, like look up, breathe out through your nose, like flush it out. And I was like, okay, and then just take a few breaths, and then I was good to go. It was a little bit of a scary moment, but you know, it's scary until you remember that I'm literally like 5 meters underwater. All I had to do, I got the panic button, I was just inflating my jacket, and I was just like, rocket up to the surface if I really had to. But by that, it was just like a leisurely sort of like swim thing around. There wasn't like, of course we weren't that deep, so we didn't see like anything crazy. We saw like some small fish like here and there, and they put like a fake Poseidon sort of statue like there just for like, you know, obviously these beginners just to see. It was like made out of copper or something. It was incredibly rusted. I remember I cut my like fingers like pretty badly, not pretty badly, but like there was a lot of scrapes on my fingers, like just from like clambering around on the rocks. And you know, actually swimming with flippers is actually pretty tiring, I'm not gonna lie. Like my flippers just like kept like hitting into each other because I guess I wasn't used to how far apart I needed to like keep my legs to make sure that they didn't collide. But the instructor took some pretty nice photos, you know, like down here. Like, is that me? That's not me. That's an instructor and a friend. It's a photo with me and 2 other people just by the statue. I remember I tried to take the photo of a statue by sitting on the statue's shoulder, but I couldn't like stay balanced on it, so I kept falling off it backwards, which is very funny. That was a good time. That was just a good photo of me just sort of like chilling there in midair. Then, you know, here I'm doing like my signature heart pose. It's very cute. So yeah, I mean, I forgot about this photo as well. I'm just doing like the double peace sign. Yeah, it was a nice experience. What can I really say? You know, it was something that felt comfortable after a while. Is it a thing, again, am I crazy about scuba diving? I think at the moment I was like, yeah, I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then like, you know, now I'm looking back at the holiday, I'm like, it was pretty cool, but you know, is it the coolest thing I've done? I don't know. It was a nice, I think I would describe it as, it was a cool thing to experience, but it's not like I wasn't like drawn into it. I think it goes to the case of a lot of things, you know, for me personally. It's like the allure of doing it for the first time is more alluring than doing it again. There's only a few things in my life where I'm just like, I want to keep continuously doing this over and over and over again. Scuba diving is like if the opportunity arises, sure, why not? But it's not, I'm not crazy about it or anything like that. But I do think it was a fun experience, and of course I don't regret doing it or anything like that. There's a lot to learn, you know, and I'm glad I stayed calm during it. Apparently I was pretty decent. Like I don't know how, like, what's a good judge of being like a good scuba diver, but the instructor like after me was like, you were like incredibly calm during the entire thing, and I was like, oh, thank you. Being calm is certainly one of my fortes, I would say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just, it was just a nice experience. A tiring experience nonetheless. Yeah, and I think it very much helped that we had very good instructors at the same time. I don't even remember like asking the instructor's name, but then like I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but whatever. Not that I would tell you their names anyway, but it'd just be like, you know, shout out to them metaphorically. Yeah, it was a nice experience. What can I say? Scuba diving. Would I rate? Yeah, no, give it a shot. If you feel like it sounds like something you like to try, then give it a try. But apart from that, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.